Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
Hello, this is the Harvard Night. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So feedback is greatly important. Feel free to reach out to me either through email, Substack, and of course, YouTube, fill up those comments. All right, so audio platforms. Some of them that I'm on is Spreaker, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, just to name a few. All right, so this episode is all about my thoughts on Christmas music. So I'm going to talk about movies such as Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, and just, give my thoughts about fan theories on them and all of that. Just dive into that. So it'll be a little bit different in this episode. So I'm really going to speak from my point of view instead of talking about facts or stuff. And just what I observe about these movies and everything else. Okay, here we go. Do 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 do, boo biddy boo bidoo. Do biddy bum biddy dee 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 doo. Do biddy do dee dee. Na 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 na. Scooby doo 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 doo. Scooby doo 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 doo. A doo doo doo. A doo doo doo. A da doo doo. Yeah. Okay, so here we go with my thoughts. I'm gonna do this quite differently, and I'm gonna do this again on my Friday episode, but just simply giving my thoughts about things here, and then giving extended thoughts on everything. Yes, I will be right back. Hold on. Go inside. I'll be right back. Okay, go, baby. I'll be right back. And so, Christmas movies. So, Christmas movies, especially when I was a kid growing up, are really unique with the aspect of talking about families and the day in and day out. It's about that. And so, Home Alone, the whole aspects of Home Alone is centered around a kid who wants attention, needs attention, and it's not getting that from his family. And so it begs the question, it expanded out to all these, the Home Alone 3, and then now, today, I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about the fan theories. So it begs the question of, how does this make sense where, it's understandable the first time when it happens, but it happens again. And then you get the circumstances of happening again in New York. Okay, well, she lost her child in New York. Well, maybe that's a occurrence that could happen. But is that so? Is it really masking the ideas that she's actually a neglectful parent? Or what more to it? And I'm fixing to get ready to get into the fan theory. So, John Hughes, for the most part, from what I understand, he was a part of the creative, either writing it or he was a part of it. He wasn't a director, but he was a part of the production. And so John Hughes was quite notable and noticeable for him associating and finding a niche with it's important to make movies that center around youth. Not something that's at, where it's just a happenstance, kids are there. But really get into the psyche of what it's like to be either teenage or in this case to be a child, and the aspects of what Kevin is facing with the aspects of nobody's understanding him, the aspects of isolation, the aspects of fear, and going along the aspects of being left alone and conquering his fears, and then everybody that's associated with what he is afraid of coming to terms with that and realizing everything isn't so bad. And so fan theories are quite interesting with the aspects of making things understandable for a lot of plot holes that happen in the media, particularly with movies and so forth. And so I think that helps, these fan theories that I'm about to talk about, helps to compensate with the reasons why is his parents so neglectful and how Kevin is the way that he is. So there's a fan theory that states that in actuality, this is a front, it's a cover-up for the agency. This is a fake family. And they're training Kevin to be part of special ops. And so he has to go through all these different obstacles in order to achieve the goal. And so first, with Home Alone, center around. So when you think about these fan theories, and they seep in your mind, you see the movie quite differently. That's also the magical part of how that really aids with the aspect of watching a movie, how popular it is, and so forth. So when you go through Home Alone, Kevin is placed in a familiar territory, and so they leave him to his own devices to figure out things as far as covert operations of how to get through obstacles. So the target is actuality, the burglars are actually in on it, they're feds or, so forth. And they're training him too with the aspects of understanding how to deal with the threat. And so the things that he does as far as, when you pay attention to the details as far as how he sets up these booby traps, that's quite elaborate. And so, that goes on the aspect or two of the practicality of the child's imagination and, on another school of thought there and heightening it up to the next level. But that's really something to think about here. And so when we get into the aspects of Home Alone 2, fan theories, and I think that's really prevalent in observation, is learning how to deal with unfamiliar territory. How do you associate yourself with it? And so going on to a lot of content that's been made on YouTube and so forth with the aspect that Kevin's character actually, all the situations that the trauma and the experiences that he had being left alone turned him into the character of Saw. And so they break it, the people who have done this about his association, his character associated with Saw, they say that he sets up these booby traps and all these other things as a way to break his psychological barrier or come to terms with the aspect of his childhood trauma. And so he finds this as wish fulfillment in torturing people, and that's quite something to think about there. And so when we get on to the other Home Alones here, now Home Alone 3 is just a crap show in itself. But, it's one of those things, milking the cow for what it's worth. If it's popular, hey, why not? And so we get a whole new kid, we have a whole new family. And then, heads up, if any of y'all who are listening to me haven't seen this movie, a young Scarlett Johansson is in it. And then we have French Stewart, quite funny guy there. I really enjoyed him in Third Rock from the Sun and other stuff. But, his comedic time is good. He's really funny. But, I don't know, it was a hit and a miss for this movie. So, this, riding the train, again, of what I was saying about the aspects of, keep churning something out because it's a franchise, make more money as possible. Now, the latest about installment of Home Alone, which came out either a year or 2 years ago, was completely nonsensical, and what was the point of it even doing it? So in this day and age, this kid would have been found quickly, even though they try to make the circumstances realistic, where I think it's something where he's with his grandmother or something like that, living with his grandma or something like that, and his mom's away on business or something, and then he's English, and then this whole thing pushing this, going on the fringe of counterculture, going against establishment, and then I don't want to say woke here, even though that's what it is. And then that corn phrase in itself.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's Zola.com.
To get to the root of the matter of what these people are actually trying to present in movies or images or in the media, what they're trying to do, they're trying to say, oh, look, I'm even more counterculture by saying and doing these things, they're being snobbish, I think, about being counterculture, and for the aspect of what counterculture is really, finding your own voice, I guess you want to say, or going against the grain for a real reason. So for the aspect where, all intents and purposes with the beatnik movement, stuff that was going on in the 60s. No, I don't agree with it, but I see the point in it with, finding their own sense of self versus traditionally what is asked of them, with what's expected. And then, we get all these things with the aspect of the revolution and how music changes and the revolution of how people dress and think and poetry and all of these notions. And so, that's one thing. The other thing I was saying, oh, I'm better than you because I'm more counterculture because of this point. That's where you get into a lot of weirdness. And then when you try to push people in the mainstream, like mainstream companies go on the bandwagon and they're trying to force feed people to say this is acceptable, that's a whole problem in itself. And so going back to the Home Alone movie here, the latest installment, is pushing agendas that don't even make sense, and you're ruining a franchise, a movie that was good in itself. And to the extent of the matter is, in the wholesome extent, beyond the fan theories that bubbled up about it over the years. But from the wholesome extent is that nothing's like your home, and then nothing's better than experiencing life than with your family. And then when all that turmoil comes together and everybody realizes that things start to work, the cohesiveness starts to work, and the family gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's what to think about here. And so with movies like Christmas Vacation, and then I'm going to end my final thoughts on A Christmas Story. So I'm going to start out with Christmas Vacation. Movies like this, they're more prevalent, and people relate to them a whole lot more because the aspect of, having family over and how that can drive you up the wall. So Chevy Chase's character and everything is quite funny with the aspects of National Lampoon when, playing with the aspect of why trying to explain in a humorous way of why the children are still, young when they should be adults by then. Particularly with Anthony Michael Hall, he should be adult by then. Why is that? And then, bringing humor and light into the aspect of family bombarding your life during the holidays and how to deal with it. And so I'm going to go into more depth, and then I'm going to go and talk about Christmas Story. All right. Okay, so we're going in with Christmas Story. Well, not Christmas Vacation leading up to A Christmas Story here. So, the idea of it is having all these hopes and aspects about how you want Christmas to be, but in actuality, what actually happens. And especially when you have extended family that comes in and bombards everything, and you don't know your place or of how to function in your own home. And also with the aspects of the importance of a male figure, importance of a dad in the household, and then how that's, whittled away with the handpicking, with the aspects of the in-laws coming and, everything else, saying, and then that extends out to the aspects of not seeing them as important, not realizing he's trying to do all he can for his family, think it's not enough, and then them going in on the wife, thinking she's not cooking, cleaning enough, not doing, keeping everything neat. And everybody can really relate to that, and that's why these movies really stand the test of time. And so, ending with the Christmas Story, it's really unique with the aspect. And then I would say with the revamp that happened it's on it's on Hulu now, but it originally was on HBO Max when Bill Billingsley, when he reprised his role. And so, you simply put, different generations can relate to that. It's always a good movie when the different generations can relate to one subject or different subjects about a movie. And so what it is about the aspects of, being a child, and that can be transplaced to, any sort of decade. And then you also with the aspects of coming to terms with yourself, of wanting to be older and asserting yourself with when Randy or Ralphie, I'm sorry. I get the names mixed up. I think it's Ralphie here, not Randy, because Randy's the youngest child, the youngest boy. But, he's cussing, and it's funny in the Wayfair commercial, that is reprised again about him. And then when Kelly Clarkson says something out of sorts, and then, you see that infamous there, but famous erotic lamp there. And then, giving homage to his character, which is really nice take. It was really nice about how, again, simple stories really stand the test of time. And then you can't get simplistic than that. No, it's complicated, but you can't get simplistic than, a child wanting something for Christmas. Your family's giving you pushback. Still treating you like a little kid, even though you're older. Your older child, you want them to, take you more seriously. And you want them to understand your point of view about things. And then, you get what you want. And then it turns out the very thing that you want hurts you. And then, all of that trying to pick up the pieces about everything. And then you get in that funny, out of sort context about parents in a relationship with their children. And then, you get the out of sort aspects of colorful notions of their father, how he is a really good man. He's stern when he needs to be. But, he has mouth on him, mouth like a sailor. And they do all these running jokes here where, when one of Ralph's friends gets in trouble, they say, well, where'd he learn that from? Probably his father, But, the reality situation, it is, but, it's blamed on the kid. And, with that aspect of kids not understanding the ramifications of being honest, thinking it's better to lie than just come straight forward. And, and then just so many people can relate to these things. And that's why it's very important to hold on to those traditions when we're coming to the aspects of holiday films. And now you get all these different, concepts of here and there about what the ideas of Christmas is to each individual. But at the most part, don't go to the extreme and make it just off-putting. Just, stick to something that's universal on all ends, that people just have a good laugh or maybe a good sentimental cry, Leave it at that. And so I'd like to know all of y'all's thoughts about the aspects of Christmas movies in our society, whether it's American society or abroad. So feel free to reach out to me either through email, Substack, and of course fill up those ring-a-ding comments. Ring-a-ding those comments in YouTube, and ring-a-ding that subscribe button and share on YouTube. It'd be greatly appreciated. All right, so this is the Christmas show here for the end of the year. Merry Christmas to you all, and have a joyous new year. This reaches the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in and absolutely ring up and turn up those dials there, and take care. Have a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.